from RTO here, welcoming you to another album ranking show. Today we are looking at the solo career of Queen drummer Roger Taylor. He's released 5 solo albums, and the good news is he's got another one coming out in October. So let's get cracking. So, coming in at number 5 is the third solo album from 1994, Happiness. This was like his first solo album since he'd recorded Innuendo, and he'd released an album with The Cross, which we will look at another date. So who plays on this album? Well, Roger Taylor, of course, on drums, vocals and guitars. Jason Falloon plays guitars. Phil Spalding on bass. Mike Crossley piano and keyboards. Catherine Porter on backing vocals. Okay then, first track on the album is called Nazis 1994. Bit of a protest song, nice arrangement. It's very different from Queen. I'm not quite sure about that myself, so we'll move on swiftly. Next track is the title track, Happiness. This is a great track. It's solid, and in places it sounds like a Pink Floyd song, especially some of the guitar work. Really good track. Then we get Revelations. This is quite funky, very upbeat track, nice riff, superb song. Touching the Sky, brilliant track, nice arrangement, great rocker, really good solo. It's my favourite track on the album. Then we get Foreign Sand. This is a track that's done by other people as with Roger instead of the main people. This has got Yoshiki on drums, piano and synthesizers. Roger Taylor just does the vocals on this. Jim Cregan plays guitars, Phil Chen on bass, and Dick Marks arranges the strings. It's an okay sort of track, not particularly one of my favourites, but very pleasant anyway. Then we get Freedom Train. This is great. The drumming on this is superb from Roger. Really, I love Roger as a drummer anyway, but this is great, and he sings really well on this one as well. Then we got You Had to Be There. It's probably one of the weakest songs on the album, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. Then we get The Key, solid rock track. This is nicely guitar in this, really good. Then we get Everybody Hurts Sometime. This is quite a bluesy track, and it actually reminds me of a song that would appear on a Roger Waters solo album. That sort of sound, really good song. Then we get Loneliness, really good song, nice arrangement, very pleasant to listen to. Dear Mr. Murdoch, again this is one of them tracks that sounds more like something off a Roger Waters solo album, but really good. Then we get Old Friends, and unfortunately it's not Iain's cup of tea. But the album on a whole, I've only listened to it a few times, 3 to be precise. I enjoyed listening to it. I'm sure it'll grow on me, but at this moment in time I give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay then, coming in at number 4 is the debut album from 1981, Fun in Space. The only person that plays on this is Roger himself. He does the lot. It just shows what a versatile musician this man is. First track, No Violins. Great guitar in this. It's a great rocker. He's not a bad guitar player, is Mr. Taylor. Very good. Then we get Laugh or Cry. Boy, does this remind me of Drowse from A Day at the Races. Great track. I really do enjoy that one. Played it quite a lot, and it's my favourite track off the album at the moment. Future Management. This is quite poppy for that time, a bit new wavy, but great bass line, terrific song. Then we get Let's Get Crazy. This is a rockabilly song, straight out of the rockabilly style song, brilliant song, great track. Then we get My Country 1 and 2. I love this start. It's very, well, without saying it sounds very Ultravox, OND, and then it goes into a rock and roll track. It's terrific, really, really good. Good Times Are Now, another great track, great drums on this, solid rocker. Magic Is Loose, quite mellow. It's got a lot of keyboard in this, but that actually complements Roger's vocal style, and it's a really, really track. Interlude in Constantinople. Yeah, this is very strange. I just don't like it. I can't get into it. Airheads, another great rocker. Great riff in this, and amazing. Then Fun in Space, very just keyboards and Roger singing, really, really good. For a debut album where you're playing everything on the album, it's terrific. And I give it an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay then, coming in at number 3. Fifth album, so it's the current album, released in November 2013, Fun on Earth. Really good album. It was his first solo project since 1998. Because he's been recording stuff with, he's been touring and doing stuff with Queen and Paul Rodgers. So it's a little while since he'd done something, but it's a terrific album. It's got some interesting people on here. We've got Jeff Beck makes a guest appearance. Spike Edney, who does keyboards with Queen. Jason Falloon's back. We've got a great saxophonist, Steve Hamilton. Kevin Jeffries on bass. Jonathan Perkins on organs. And Nicola Robbins on violin. And there's also his son plays on this, Rufus Taylor, who's played with quite a few people, including The Darkness. First track on the album, One Night Stand. Oh, great riffs in this. This is a real rocker, straight out the Queen songbook, really. Terrific song. Then we get Fight Club. This is a really slow track. A lot of the tracks on this album are quite mellow, but it's got a great saxophone solo. Terrific song. Then we get Be With You. Rufus Taylor drums on this. It's a slow track and it is superb. Quality Street, another nice slow track with a great sax solo again. Terrific song. I Don't Care is very, very dad. Start again here. I Don't Care is really jazzy. I love this, and the guitar and the sax work well together here. Terrific song. Sunny Day, another mellow track, but it could have been done by Queen at any time during their career. Terrific song. Be My Gal, My Brightest Spark, quite a nice little tune, very solid. Then we get my favourite track. It's a rocker called I Am the Drummer in a Rock and Roll Band. Well, we all know what that's about, and it is a terrific track, great rocker. Then we get Small. This is quite nice. It's acoustic and piano. It's really good. Say It's Not True. This features Jeff Beck, and it's basically Jeff Beck and Roger Taylor. This is a rework of a song from the Cosmos Rocks album, which we'll be looking at in a future date, which Queen did with Paul Rodgers. It's a really good track, and this is good as well. Both versions are really good. You've got a rocking one, a bit more upbeat, but this one's just very acoustic and it's really good. Unblinking Eye, nice slow track. I do like this. Then we get Up, quite upbeat. The drum beat sounds very much like Radio Gaga. Again, it could be something that Queen would have done. Then with the last track, Smile Again. A great track, very Queen. Could imagine Freddie singing this one. Again, on the whole, a fantastic album, and I really enjoy listening to this. And I give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Moving swiftly on to number 2. This is the 4th album, released in 1998, Electric Fire. Really, really good album. Very, very solid. Roger Taylor plays drums and keyboards and guitars as usual. Got another drummer on here, Keith Pryor. Steve Barnacle on bass. Mike Crossley plays some keyboards. Jason Falloon's back. Keith Airy. I haven't looked, but I wonder if he's a relation to Don. Then Matthew Exby on guitars. Jonathan Perkins does some keyboards. Trina Morris does some vocals. Terrific lineup of people. Very good musicians. And the first track on the album, Pressure On. Nice and melodic. Great opener. A Nation of Haircuts. Great rocker. It's got a really good driving beat and riff on this. Believe in Yourself. This is straight out the Queen songbook again. Very much a Queen style song. The writing of it, the arrangement, and the great harmonies. Queen would have been really good at this one. Surrender. Love the drums in this. And Roger's vocal is really, really good in this as well. People on the Streets. Not my cup of tea. And if you want to know what I really mean, my cup of tea is a nice way I put in. It is very rubbish. The Whisperers. Love this. It's an acoustic sounding song with keyboards, and Roger's voice just complements this track. Terrific. Is It Me? Nice ballad. Some great bits of guitar in this. You got little bits of heaviness and little bits of pastiche. Really good track. No More Fun. This is a great rocker, and the use of the wah wah pedal in this is fantastic. I love wah wah, and that was a great track. Tonight. Great track. The drumming in this is done with the brushes, so you've got that nice whispery sound. Terrific. Then you got this nice Spanish guitar keep coming in. Really, really good. Then Where Are You Now? Another great solo in this. Absolutely crunching, and a great, great song. Then we get a cover version of Working Class Hero, obviously by John Lennon. Does this song justice. Really good version. Great track. Then the last track, London Town, Come On Down. This is quite proggy. It's got a great solo in it, probably the best solo on all the albums. Terrific song, and this is a great album, and I love this one already, and it gets an RTO ranking of 8.5. So number 1. Now when I started this ranking, obviously I'd only got the one album and I found the others on Spotify, and I went in with an open mind and say, you got to remember, listen to the others first. So I did. So I listened to them all and got, yep. And then I listened to this one, and it still come out as my favourite album. The album we're talking about is the second album from 1984, Strange Frontier. This is a really good album. It's quite rocky in places. It's got some interesting people on here. I'll go through them because they play on individual tracks. Terrific album. So you got Roger Taylor on vocals and drums, keyboards and bass again. Then there's Dave Richards, which is a producer, plays keyboards, and then we get some interesting guests. So the first track on the album, Strange Frontier, this is a great song. It's quite a quiet start, and it builds up into a great rocker. Terrific song. Beautiful Dreams. This is one of my favourites on the album. It's very melodic. Lots of keyboards and great drumming and arrangements, and a great rock vocal from Roger. Next track was actually the first song I heard from this album, and I got it on single. You know when you're going through the single rack, there it was, we'll have that. And this is Man on Fire. It's a great rocker, and Brian May plays on this. And you can tell him straight away, he's got that such distinctive sound. He's only doing like the rhythm on this, but it's still great. Fantastic track. Then we get a cover of Bruce Springsteen's Racing in the Street. Now this is a little bit more upbeat than Bruce's version, but what is good about it, it's done in the style of how Bruce Springsteen does his tracks. You can tell it's a Bruce Springsteen track, and Roger does a great version and gives this song some justice. Fantastic song, love the song anyway, and Roger's is a great version. Then there's another cover on here. It's Bob Dylan's Masters of War, but this is far better. There's more atmosphere to this, and Roger's vocal on this just gives it that eeriness and anger. It's fantastic, and I love this track to death. Next track, Killing Time. This is brilliant, my favourite track on the album, and it features Freddie Mercury on backing vocals, but I think there's more to this than Freddie's backing vocal. He's very, very influenced on this. There's drum machine on this, and Roger playing, and it's superb, and I'm sure Freddie had a lot to do with this track. And you've got the lead vocal from Roger and Freddie's backing vocal. As ever, they complement each other so well, and this is just an awesome, awesome track. Then we get Abandon Fire. This is so 80s, but I'd say it's 80s done with some style. There's nothing, it's that 80s sound, but the production is so much better than that 80s production. The drums are nice and crisp, and Roger's vocal again, superb. Then we get a track called Young Love. It's done in the style of Springsteen, although it's not a Springsteen track. Great track. Okay, It's an Illusion. This is written by Roger Taylor and Rick Parfitt, Status Quo of course, and the bass player is a certain Mr. John Deacon on this as well. It's great. The combination of Parfitt and Deacon, you've got one of the greatest rhythm guitarists that ever graced this land, and you've got one of the steadiest, tightest bass players as well. You've got three people here that have worked together and they are tight. A great engine room. This is a great rocker. Rick's driving riffs, John's thumping bass, and Roger's singing on it, and he's drumming, and the backing vocal from Rick. Absolutely fun, and you can tell it's a fun track, and I think these three guys really enjoyed making this track. Terrific song. Then we get I Cry For You. It's very, very out of the Radio Gaga style, and it's really good. As I said, I've tried not to put this at number one. I went with no intentions, but unfortunately, and well, it is one of my favourite albums from that period anyway, and it gets an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. So that's Roger Taylor. Go and have a listen to his stuff. I've put a few tracks in my playlist, and I've put it at the end of the video. This video, there's a connection to go and listen to some more stuff. Practically, I've put the whole album because of Strange Frontier for you. So that's this show done. We've got another one coming up. It's Tuesday, which means it's a retro ranking. But today's retro ranking is a little bit different. It came from a conversation on the live stream the other week. There was a conversation about comedy songs, and someone suggested that I did some comedy songs, and I did 10, but there was so many honourable mentions. I've made it top 20. So that'll be an interesting show, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll hopefully see you for that one. If not, I will see you soon, and take care, everyone.